Is this where I make the obligatory once you go black joke? I mean, she said it right there in the title of the album. Here are my immediate thoughts on Back to Black. Back to Black is the newest musical biopic starring Marisa Abela as Amy Winehouse, the iconic British pop star who blew up onto the scene in the 2000s with the seminal albums Frank and Back to Black, which made her a multi-Grammy winner. This film is directed by Sam Taylor Johnson, who directed the excellent Nowhere Boy that followed the life of John Lennon, so she has some experience handling British pop stars as subjects. Back to Black follows singer Amy Winehouse's rise to fame with her groundbreaking album Back to Black, while also providing an insight into the tumultuous relationship with Blake Fielder Civil, who inspired her to write and record the album. Winehouse struggles with paparazzi and addiction as she tries to balance her fame with her private life with the man she is in love with. So I was really excited to see this movie. I love me some Amy Winehouse. The entire Back to Black album is on my Spotify. When I talked about the trailer and did the reaction, I mentioned how You Know I'm No Good with Ghostface Killah is just my jam. So I was going in with high expectations, hoping to see a movie about Amy Winehouse and how she used her traumas to translate into music and create the albums that she did. What I got instead was the 2024 equivalent of the film Wired. For the uninitiated, Wired is a 1989 biopic starring Michael Chiklis as John Belushi, and the film surrounds John Belushi's life and his untimely death. John Belushi is a fucking genius when it comes to comedy, but did Wired really celebrate that? No. It was basically a cautionary tale saying drugs is bad, okay? The movie did not care to really explore John Belushi as a comic genius or how he approached comedy. It was just basically 2 hours of everyone telling Belushi drugs are bad. And Back to Black is basically the same, just replace drugs with alcohol. This movie did Amy Winehouse dirty. But let's talk about some positives. Whoever did the costume design and the set design deserves a raise. They got the look of this movie really right, especially when it comes to the look of Amy Winehouse and Blake. The Grammy performance set is basically a mirror of the real set that was used when Amy Winehouse performed Rehab and won all those Grammys, so that was excellent. I can't complain about how the movie looks. It looks fantastic. There are some great, beautiful shots in this movie, and there are some nice character moments, but they didn't feel earned because there wasn't enough time focusing on scenes that would build up to those moments. I really like Marisa Abela as Amy Winehouse. I felt she did a really good job. I know that she sang most of the songs and she really excelled at that. And I felt that she captured the spirit of Amy Winehouse really well. I like Eddie Marsan as Mitch Winehouse, Amy Winehouse's dad. It sort of reminded me of the chemistry in the movie Fighting With My Family. If anyone followed that or watched that, that's the wrestling movie about Paige and her family. So the dynamic between Amy Winehouse and Mitch Winehouse's father and daughter was really sweet and touching, and I really did like that. Then we have Jack O'Connell as Blake Fielder Civil, and honestly, he was the best part of the movie for me. When he enters, he is just all chaos. He even admits that to Amy Winehouse, sort of like Nicolas Cage in Leaving Las Vegas. He's like, I do drugs, I am crazy, take me as I am. And they develop that relationship, and a lot of the best acted scenes in this movie, I believe, belong to Jack O'Connell. But decent acting doesn't help a musical biopic that doesn't focus on the music. What made Amy Winehouse so special is that she was a throwback to jazz singers like Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan, and even a throwback to girl bands like the Shangri-Las with their big girl, big band sound. And I wanted to go into this movie seeing how Amy Winehouse used those influences and put that into her own music. But we get a musical biopic where we don't see where any of the music was made. Sure, there are scenes with Amy in a studio or with her picking up a guitar, but there are no real scenes that show her really developing her musical style and creating the songs that she did, and that's what I was interested in seeing. Yeah, basically, from the opening frame of this movie, we are told Amy Winehouse loves alcohol. Sure, I get it. She's self-destructive. But you know who else was self-destructive? Charlie Bird. And we still got a great biopic out of it directed by Clint Eastwood. You know who else was self-destructive? Jim Morrison. And we still got a great biopic out of that with Oliver Stone's The Doors. So it is perfectly possible to tell a story that includes an artist's truths while still being able to focus on how they created the music that they did. Maybe I should just watch a documentary, and if that's how I feel, then this movie is just a waste of time. We get to hear a lot of Amy's songs, but we really don't get into the mindset of her creating them other than Back to Black. I was really disappointed that the film did not go into her mindset of writing Rehab, her biggest song. You would think the film would touch on that, but instead we got an imitation of the Grammy performance of her singing that song along with her Grammy wins. That is super frustrating because that is her biggest song. So you would think a movie that tackles her as a subject matter is going to get into her mindset of writing the biggest song of her career. It's like the movie would fast forward anything that has to do with Amy's musical creation because it just wanted to focus more on her tabloid life. And the film really does get into the paparazzi hounding her and pretty much anyone within her orbit. Amy Winehouse, like most British pop stars that really exploded, were hounded by paparazzi all the time, and they've just focused on tabloid things like her weight loss, which is referenced in the film, and the self-destructive nature of the relationship that she does have with Blake. And the relationship between Amy and Blake is the heart of the movie, and I do believe that there is good chemistry between Marisa Abela and Jack O'Connell. But a third of the movie and a third of their time together is basically them being self-destructive. And nothing really comes out of that until late in the movie when Blake is arrested for assault. And if anyone follows Amy Winehouse's life, we all know how that really affected her. I'm starting to become of the opinion that if we want to get a really good musical biopic, maybe a miniseries is just the way to go. Amy Winehouse's life is too rich with both triumph and tragedy to try to fit everything into a 2-hour movie. A 5-part miniseries on Netflix or Amazon, though, probably would have worked really well. It just feels like I only saw a fraction of Amy Winehouse's life, and the majority of that fraction didn't focus on the thing that made her special in the first place, her music. Overall, Back to Black was a very frustrating and some ways a very sad sit. I wanted to watch a movie that celebrates Amy Winehouse as an artist. I already came into this movie knowing a good chunk about her personal life, and while I understand there are elements that can't be ignored, if you make that 80% of your movie, fans of Amy Winehouse feel cheated, as they paid money to see a movie giving a beat-for-beat rundown of her career in the most basic way. So they walk out feeling like they wasted their time, while those who didn't know a lot about Amy Winehouse will walk away not knowing a whole lot other than that she loves Ella Fitzgerald, is madly in love with Blake to the point of self-destruction, and most importantly, she was a raging alcoholic. But like Charlie Bird and his heroin addiction, Amy Winehouse was more than her demons and her tabloid life. You're better off watching Amy, the great 2015 documentary. I don't understand how the Winehouse family could sign off on such a limiting story. But I'm not family. I'm just a fan. And this fan believes Back to Black is a flop. Yeah, this review honestly makes me a little sad because I am a huge Amy Winehouse fan, but this was just really disappointing. If you are a fan of Amy Winehouse and maybe you are a completist, sure, this may be something you want to catch, but if you know all about her life already, this honestly is a pretty easy skip. What did you think of Back to Black? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.